So what we're working on right now is we're working on making these legs here, okay? And what I'm going to show you is how these little doors are made, right? It's not really complicated. There's really no mystery to it. You just need a few really simple tools, and you know, they come out pretty good. But you got to have a little door like that, so in case on these archetypal windows, so that if you ever, how do you say, need to replace a weight, that way you can access the pocket. So we get a shot from the outside too. You can see, I mean, how the see those slots right there? You see those? I'm gonna show you how I make those. These are legs that I'm putting together for my next window frames, and what I've done so far is, okay, first, well, I'm going to back you up a little bit. I started off with this rough lumber right here, cut it to its rough length, and then I ran it through a milling process over there to where, you know, I finally ended up with stuff like this, okay? And this is just regular, this is 3/4 inch pine right now. It's actually KDAT pine, meaning kiln dried after treatment, so this is good stuff. Then I'll take it over to this table saw and then apply this treatment. This is that's a groove that I put my parting bead in, okay? That's a real important element right there, because that's keyed to this jointed edge here. This is a straight edge here, and my parting bead is, you know, the groove therefore is straight also. That makes a track here in, and this piece here, this is where the sash will run up against there, and or along this area. Put a window stop on that, and that'll make the track. Parting bead there, window stop there, track here, put a little board here. Anyway, that's what that is. But anyway, so after I made the this parting bead slot there, I took it over to that machine over here. This is an old Craftsman radial arm saw. It's like a saw of death, you know. People don't really use these anymore, but for this application, it's pretty good. I put a what's called a stacked dado blade on it, okay? And that's a series of saw blades that cuts a thickness to it. Right now I've got it set for about 13/16. Prime example of that dado that goes across. And then these guys will, this is a header piece. Now that'll fit in here just like that. This isn't the right piece, but you know, it's really, really tight, so I gotta, you know, press it in. See that? Yep. So I've done that on top and bottom, and now I'm in the middle of marking where my weight pocket access doors go. So I'm getting ready to make those. But before I do, I'm gonna chop them off the length, because this is obviously too long, you know. Put that there. Got my other set. Cool. Wow, that's good. Like we were talking about, I mean, there's a formula that the old timers used to have where they knew they probably had a chart for every piece of every size piece of glass. They knew exactly which, what length to cut everything. Like when on the old plans, they'd call out a window by the glass size, and the framers knew by that, how big to make the rough opening. I mean, if you look at the old catalogs, at the price of glass versus the price of the wood, glass was much more expensive than wood, right? And now, that's not necessarily the case. Now, wood is actually much more expensive than glass. Now this, what I'm doing here, is a secret that not many people know. I'm cutting these pocket doors for the frames, the pocket doors, the weight access doors. Doors that access the pocket where the weight is. That's why I guess I call it the pocket doors. But I'm going to do that here in just a second. All right. So look, most pocket doors are about 2 inches. So I'm just going to measure over about 2 inches there. And it looks like I need to make a cut 3/8 of an inch over. So I'll set my saw at 3/8. There we go. That's one side, now we gotta do the other. Because you got a left and a right. All right, measure my 2 inches again. All right, so I'm gonna go 3 5/8. It looks like it's gonna be. I'll have to put them back on the sawhorses. Here it is, a Harbor Freight special. With a special Harbor Freight extension cord. Yeah, man, you made those teeth look really ugly, man. All right. So now, all I'm going to do is take this handy dandy oscillating tool, halfway through here and halfway through here, halfway through the board, that is. And if you look, This mark goes here, that's where I'm going to cut there, okay? But then I've got another mark here that's offset to the inside. I'm going to cut that there. But what that's going to do it on both sides. If you follow this line here, that line there is offset. Cuts to the back side. That's going to leave a little shelf intact there that creates a breakaway door so that if you ever have to access the weight pockets and change the ropes out and stuff like that, you'll be able to break away this little door and put it back on the exact same place. So, but I didn't invent that. I just copied what the old timers did, right? They actually used to have a big machine that did this, I think on both sides at once. They had these like little saws that cut on both sides at one time. I've seen a video of that one time. I think everybody should know at this point that I only use the highest quality Festool brand blue tapes. All right, because I think that if I'm going to have a blue tape marker on my Harbor Freight blade, it's got to be the absolute best. All right, so let everybody know. I mean, look, I've got it on both sides. Okay, so nothing but the very best blue tape to mark my Harbor Freight cutting tool. I mean, that's actually a Harbor Freight blade too. All right, so now you just gotta go through and put your little holes in. So later on, we can put our screws in. You know, we put screws on later. Ta-da! That's how you make them, all right? Both sides. That'll work really well. Oh, you leave that just like that. You want to leave that grain attached. See, I'm going to put it on this edge here. Look, see, look. So here I've got that cut goes through right there. Okay, that cut goes through right there. So fundamentally, the grain, the wood is still intact there. Okay, and that's what you want. But you want, this is a really weak spot in the grain, so you want to be able to break this away if you need to. I mean, there's no reason to break it now, right? You would break it later